Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Exercise Engineer. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the impact of other people on your fitness journey. So it's definitely who you're surrounding yourself with that will have one of the biggest impacts on whether your diet or new healthy lifestyle is a success or not. I'm going to start with a famous quote that's, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with." And definitely remembering that, especially as we're going through the rest of this chat, I will be probably referring back to it a couple of times. But firstly, we're going to start with a bit more to do with willpower, because studies have shown that we only really have 4 or 5 no's in us before we say yes. So that's, oh, do you want a cookie? Or do you want to go out for a coffee? Or do you want to go out? Oh, should we get that croissant? Or blah, 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 blah. Studies have shown that we only have 4 or 5. Oh, no, thank you. Oh, no, I can't today. No, no, I shouldn't really. Oh, no. The 5th, 6th time someone asks you something that you're trying to withstand from, is likely you're gonna have to say yes eventually, because that's just how our willpower works, and that's just life as well. So it's totally understandable if you do break down over the day or throughout the week. So potentially you might have friends that are like, oh, let's grab a drink. And maybe at the start of the week, you quite easily are like, oh no, not tonight. It's a Monday, guys. Come on. I mean, we've all been there. We've all been there, don't you worry. But then you have other, like, as you get to the end of the week, like someone's, oh, let's go grab a drink. Oh yeah, go on then. Go on then. Like by the end of the week, you have run out of no's. And I just love thinking about it like that. It's sort of like a game to myself. Like I was only discussing this topic with a friend yesterday, and since I've just been like, I wonder if I could like break the average or something. Like that's just classic me brain thinking, now let's go above and beyond. Let's see how many times we can say no before we say yes. And to a certain extent, it's good to say yes sometimes. It's good to go out and have a drink with your mates sometimes. And that's absolutely fine. It's just trying to not say yes every single time. And going back to the quote at the start, you're the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. If they are asking you multiple times a day, oh, let's go for a drink, or let's go do that, or let's go for a pizza, or let's go to the cinema, or like let's eat out, or do some form of something that's not necessarily in line with your current values or goals, then yes, chances are your no's will run out a lot quicker, because you're spending more time with them and you feel like you have to say no more often. However, if you surround yourself by people that are like, oh, let's go for a hike this weekend, or oh, let's go do this exercise class, or let's go row a marathon. Yes, that's aimed at you, Sophie, if you're listening. Like you can say yes. You can say yes to all of those, and you will find that you don't have to say no as often. Therefore, you have more no's left in your bank when it comes to the weekend. And it might sound really ridiculous, but test it. See how many no's that you can say before you say yes and give in to something that you were trying to withstand from. Is that even a word, withstand? Have I just made that up? I really don't know. But yeah, I also think not necessarily surrounding yourself with similar people. I think that is really important. Similar goals, striving towards very similar lifestyles. If you're fitness orientated, then surround yourself with run clubs, or go to the gym where there's people that are similar to you, striving towards similar goals there. Or join a community. Like obviously I promote my Train with Lou, like all my programs, all my challenges. I am putting you in a group of people that are all striving towards the same thing, including myself. I am still in that group, and I am still striving to be the best, strongest, fittest, healthiest version of myself. So surrounding yourself with those people and posting in that group every single day is going to expose you to them every single day, which is increasing. Like they're the people that you're spending most of your time with, really. And then maybe not most. You know what I'm getting at though, but if you surround yourself with more positive people, you will become more positive and you will end up getting your goal a lot quicker and easier. I also think surrounding yourself with people that are one step ahead of you, not necessarily better. We're not going to use the word better or put anyone on a podium, but someone that's maybe been working on their fitness journey a year longer than you. So you can learn from their mistakes, almost like a mentor, and they can guide you through it. And you can always be looking up at them and working towards what they've got. It's so much easier to work towards something that's like so close in grasp, like you can almost feel it. It's so close. That's like when you look up to someone or surround yourself with people that are maybe only 1 year ahead, maybe half a year, maybe only a couple of months ahead, but they're still slightly ahead, instead of someone who's 10 years ahead, which is so far out of reach that it seems unrealistic and unattainable. So it's actually less motivational sometimes. And actually, it's so much easier to have someone there that's only a few steps ahead of you. That is how you best stay motivated. That's someone who inspires you. And you can be inspired by people without disliking them. Like sometimes we follow people on Instagram, and yes, people can inspire us, but sometimes, like, I'm not gonna lie, we look at people on Instagram and think, oh God, like put it away. Like we don't need to see that. You're just rubbing it in. And some of you guys might think that about me. I don't mind. That's absolutely fine. What I'm putting out there is to aim to inspire you to become your happiest, healthiest version of yourself. If that's not what I'm giving across, please message me, give me a bit of feedback, but you can still be inspired by someone without disliking them. Because I think, yeah, a lot of the time we do sort of like, you end up not liking them because what they're doing is so unattainable that you sort of feel a bit envious. It's like, oh, I'm never going to have that. Whereas if you follow people that are so close within grasp, so much better. But like with everything, looking up towards someone, you can see that their hard work is paying off. You can see that progress. It's very, very beneficial to follow people like that and literally watch their hard work, watch their progress take place. Like some people message me, like someone actually asked me, why do you post a sweaty selfie every day? Or why do you get your clients to post a sweaty selfie every day? And it's like, it's not that I'm not rubbing in that I've done a workout. It's a pretty gross picture, to be honest. So that's probably why they're asking, like, why are you sharing that really gross picture of yourself? And it's just normalizing it for a start. Yes, women sweat, believe it or not. Women lift weights and grow muscles. And it's like, oh my God, no way. But also, I am setting an example. I am like, so many people say, oh my God, how'd you get like that? Oh, how do I get abs? Or like, oh my God, you look great. I would never look like that. But I'm not being unrealistic. I show every bit of movement that I do. I show most of what I'm eating, and it's showing the hard work that I'm putting in. And that's one of the reasons why I do post those sweaty selfies, as not as proof that I've done it, but showing the sort of commitment that you've got to give in order to get those sort of results. Like, remember, extraordinary results require extraordinary action. You've got to go above and beyond what the average person is doing if you want to achieve more than the average person. So definitely seeing the hard work and the progress, but also like, I'm running a business. Of course, I'm going to promote my workouts online. Like every workout that I film, I should really do it more often, actually. But every workout that I film, of course, I'm going to take a picture after it and be like, oh my God, yeah, great workout. Sometimes I do say, not my best workout, not going to lie. But if I can already tell that, like mid-filming, that I'm like, oh, this workout's not as good as my others, I change it mid-workout, make it harder. Like, just do it. It's just easier. I mean, it's not easier, it's harder. But what's the point of doing it if you're not pushing yourself? But that's a conversation for another day, I think. But yeah, it's not negative, I think, to have someone in your circle that is inspirational and that is promoting all of these positive lifestyles. But it is really positive if you use it in a positive way and you don't see it as someone who's showing off, or maybe you just think, oh, I'll never be able to do that, and you sort of rebound and like almost rebel and go in the opposite direction, because no one likes being told what to do at all. Like the minute someone tells us, oh, you need to eat this to be healthy, or you shouldn't eat this to be healthy, or you need to run X amount, or you need to do this, we don't want to do it. That's just a classic human trait. No one actually likes being told what to do. So when it comes to having someone in your circle that is inspiring and that is inspirational, or maybe you follow them, or maybe it's a podcast you listen to, not naming any names, but like, it's not negative to have someone that you or are inspired by. It's good. Use it as fuel to think, actually, no, I'm going to let them inspire me, and just take action. You only need to do one or two minor tweaks usually. And I sometimes, like, people sometimes message me saying, oh my God, I can't believe, like, that was the way that you said that changed everything. It's so small or something, but it's those tiny little tweaks that people do that make such big impacts. And again, there's a really annoying beeping in the background. If you can hear that, I'm so sorry, but I don't know what to do, and that's really annoying. But then also, instead of being inspired by people, don't compare yourself to them. That is one of my number one rules with Instagram, with surrounding yourself with inspiring people, like looking at PTs. And it's like, don't compare yourself to them, because it might be your day one, it might be their day 500, it might be their day 1000. Like, I've been filming home workouts for coming on to 3 years now. Is it 3? Oh my God, I'm losing track. I'm not gonna lie. It's been more than 2 years anyway. There's about 500 of them. And you cannot compare yourself to that if it's your day one. All PTs online, all the influencers online, it is their full-time job to look like that. It's their full-time job to coach people to do that. So of course they're going to look like that. Like, they literally they spend all day in a gym. It's literally their full-time job. So you cannot compare yourself. If you have a full-time job and you're working shifts, you've got kids, you've got so many other priorities, you cannot compare your body to theirs. Like, comparison is the thief of joy. I've spoke about this before, but it so is. It really, really is. Like, the more you think about it, the more you try and compare yourself to other people, you're just gonna dishearten yourself, unless you're comparing in a positive way and putting you at the top, which is fine. But then if you do it that way around, you are sort of losing the urge to grow more, because if you already think you're at the top, there's no point of growing anymore. Whereas if you know there's someone that's always 1 or 2 steps ahead of you in that journey, and you want to learn from them and grow, you will always know that there's more steps to be taken to get to where you want to be. Whereas if you only surround yourself with people that are technically, I'm not going to say below you, because that's not really what I'm saying, but behind you in the fitness journey, then you might get a little bit complacent. You might sort of plateau, because there's nothing pushing you. There's nothing pushing your boundaries, or nothing pushing you out of your comfort zone to be like, actually, yeah, I can do more. I can achieve more because this person has done it. So it's like almost proof that you can do it. That's that's going to get you there. That's the thing with the marathon world record or something, or the is it sub 2 hours? Maybe I might be going slightly over. But there was something, I'm pretty sure it's the marathon record, that no one for years and years and years could get sub 2 hours on a marathon. No one at all. So many people tried. The minute one person did it and got a world record, I'm pretty sure it was something ridiculous, like 8 days later, someone else managed to get sub 2 as well. Because once you know that it's actually possible, it becomes more attainable, which sounds bizarre, because people were training for years and years trying to get a sub 2 hour marathon. The minute one person does it, a second person does it 8 days later. 8 days just on the back of it's possible. Let's do it. And it's amazing. It's actually amazing. Like 2 days ago, I rode on a rowing machine and did a marathon. I would never have thought that was even possible. Like, who does that? Like, I would never have thought to have done that as a challenge or anything. But this girl that I met has been doing it as as a calendar club. So on day one, she did 1 mile, day two, 2 miles, etc., etc. It got to day 26, and she had 26 miles on the rower, which is 42, pretty much 42 kilometers, which is a marathon. And it seems almost impossible. In my brain, I would not have even comprehended that that was even a thing that people did. But the minute she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing it," as if it was possible. Like she'd done, what's the day one before, like 25 miles on the ski erg and then 24 miles on the rower already. So she'd pretty much done it. So knowing that it was actually possible made me get on the rower with her and be like, "Yeah, this is possible. Like, let's just do it." And I did it. And it was the most surreal feeling ever. It took me 3 hours and 29 minutes. And I just think, well, it's just almost, it seems ridiculous. I've not been able to do much with my hands and feet from the pure blisterage. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is now. The blisterage that's been going on my feet and hands. If you're watching the video version, they've sort of gone down a bit now, but I tried to do my pull-ups the other day and one of them popped on me and I was like, ugh. Anyway, that was a tangent, wasn't it, guys? But yeah, exactly. Do not compare yourself to other people. Even though I sort of just did there with Sophie, but I cannot compare at all because she'd done it for the first 25 days ahead of that. I'd literally jumped on and been like, yeah, let's do it, feeling fresh, not really knowing if it was possible, but we did it and it was amazing. So it's just celebrating your wins, emphasis on your wins. Not that you can celebrate other people's wins with them as well, absolutely, but you need to celebrate your wins. What is a win for you? It doesn't matter how big or how small that win is, because again, don't compare it to what other people are capable of doing. Last week, I did my first ever biathlon. That was a really big deal for me. You might have seen my reel on it. I almost looked I pretty much cried at the end. I couldn't believe it. It was the smallest biathlon ever. I'm pretty sure it was only like, I don't even know swimming distances yet, but because it was my first ever thing. But we swam out to a buoy, which felt like miles away to someone who doesn't swim very well. Like I've done all my grades when I was little, but I've not competed in swimming, or like the most I've usually swim is like little grandma swimming on holiday, a little bit of breaststroke in the sea when you get too hot sunbathing. That's pretty much the extent of my swimming in adulthood. So this biathlon was actually quite a big deal for me. And when I came out and looked all emotional that I'd done it, I did end up looking around thinking, oh man, these people just do it for the social. They're doing it for fun. Like this is so easy for them. But you cannot compare yourself. Like that was my day one. That was my day one. You cannot compare my day one to someone's day 500. Like, I really celebrated that little win. It was the smallest little biathlon. We had to swim out to the little buoy and back, and then run 400 meters, swim back out to the buoy again, and then run 400 meters. Bearing in mind that's in the sea and on the beach, by the way. It was hard. Like I found it really, really difficult. It took me 34 minutes. And actually saying this out loud, I said I was going to do it again this week and it's tomorrow. And now I'm like, oh God, I'm going to have to try and beat 34 minutes now. But at least I've got something to work towards. And that's for me, that's my win. And actually, I got such a crap time last week. The person that beats their average time by the most gets a free beer. Yeah, that could be me tomorrow, guys. We'll soon find out. Probably not, because I haven't practiced and I don't think I'll be any better. But we'll see. But again, that is, I say but a lot, don't I? That is the example of celebrating your win. Like no one else was celebrating that day. at all, unless they got a PB. No one else is celebrating that tiny little swim and run apart from me, because that was a really big deal for me. So always remember to celebrate your wins. And I don't mean celebrate, go out, party on the lash and be hungover for 3 days, because that'll just set you backwards. But you understand what I'm saying, which leads me nicely on to surround yourself with people that understand what you're doing, understand why you're doing it, and actually support your goals, not people that are going to be like, oh, what are you doing that for? Oh, you don't need to do that. It's like, yeah, if you want to do something and you've set a goal, why not? Like, this girl that I've just met is doing this ridiculous challenge for no reason whatsoever, apart from it's a challenge for her. Like, she's not doing it for charity. She's not trying to beat a record. She's not, literally doing it for fun and as a challenge to herself to push and see what the body is capable of doing, which is amazing. Like, the fact she's just doing that for fun is ridiculous, but it is also amazing. And the fact that me and a few other girls have been supporting her the past, I only met her last week, but supporting that goal and understanding why she's doing, like, but then even saying that, you don't need to understand why they're doing it. Just as long as you understand what they need in terms of support from you. So straight after this, I'm going, she's got 29, what day are we on? 28 miles today on the rower. So straight after this, I'm going to go. I was going to see if I could row bits of it with her, but my hands are still in absolute tethers. I don't know how she's doing it. I have really sweaty hands, apparently. But finding people that are going to support your goal and not try and drag you back down is a really, really important part of succeeding and not. There's that like long-term discussion about, like, should you work in private? Are you going to get more done if you don't tell anyone about it and you just crack on your own, you lock yourself in your room and you bash through loads of stuff? You could argue that you would get a lot more done if you didn't tell people about it, because you could just crack on, no one's interfering. But then you could also say, like, in terms of crash dieting, that's how that works. You sort of like power on in the background, and then you will end up rebounding and then rebelling at weekends when it comes to like that you're dieting and actually you don't really want to. But the question, like, should you tell people your goals? I say absolutely yes. Like, part of staying fit is maintaining the positive habits while you're still getting on with your life. That is such a crucial bit of the term healthy. The way that I see healthy, it's not, oh yeah, I'm so healthy, I lost a stone in 3 months last year, whatever. Did you maintain that weight loss? Did you maintain healthy lifestyles? Because we've all lost weight before. That's not revolutionary. We've all managed to lose weight. We've all put it back on. We've all lost it again. We've all put it back on. That bit isn't revolutionary. The actual weight loss part is normal, in fact. We all fluctuate in weight. But the revolutionary bit, and the bit that I like to put under the umbrella of being healthy, is about the long-term balance. Can you still get on with your life while maintaining these habits? Can you still go to weddings and be healthy? Can you still go on holiday and choose healthier habits while on holiday? Or are you in this cycle of fad diet and then binge, fad diet, binge, on a cycle around various events during the year, such as weddings, birthdays? What other events have we got? Christmas. That's a bad example because everyone eats more at Christmas. But a lot of people do try and lose weight for Christmas in preparation for knowing that they're going to put weight on at Christmas, which is fine. I think that's fine because we are all going to do it. And I'm not being funny. If you don't put weight on Christmas Day, you're doing it wrong. That's quite bold coming from supposedly a fitness podcast, but it's Christmas. I'm not going to ask for your food log at Christmas. Don't worry, guys. But do you have that long-term balance? That's what I'm getting at. Is it relatively easy going for the whole year? Like the ultimate difference between someone who loses weight and then puts it back on, and the difference between them and the person who loses weight and maintains it. Technically, the person who maintains it never has to diet again. Just how much of a weight off your shoulders is that? They never have to put themselves through a fad diet again because they have found balance. They have found a healthy balance of exercise, nutrition, seeing their mates, going out on the lash every so often, fueling your body with good foods, going for runs, moving your body to feel good. It's all about that balance and enjoying life. Like the person who's enjoying life the most is winning to a certain extent. To a certain extent. Actually, yeah, I was going to say, if you're going out on the lash and having the best time ever, next day, I bet you're not having the best time ever. That's, again, another little tangent. But just going back to that ultimate difference between the dieter and the maintainer, I know which one I'd rather be, because dieting is so difficult. Like, it is not fun. No one enjoys dieting. Like, it is horrendous. When I went on that bulk last year and then tried to cut after it, oh my God, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And now I'm in this a bit, like my stomach is definitely expanded still since that bulk, and it hasn't quite gone back. So my appetite is still rather large, but it's a good job I move a lot. But again, it is all about that maintaining. Do you want to exercise? And a lot of people don't like lifting weights. They don't like going to the gym, and that's okay. Find the exercise that you enjoy and do that every day instead, even if that is going for a walk. But I would recommend resistance training. So even if you're going for a walk, put a rucksack on. Is it called like rucking? It's so good for you. So much better for you than sitting on the couch. Rucking beats walking to a certain extent because you are still adding resistance to that walk, sort of like our ancestors used to. But it's your decision at the end of the day. What you choose to consume in terms of things that you see throughout the day, people you spend your time with every day, every week, the foods that you're eating, the liquids that you're drinking. I've got to make that sound weird. Like whatever you choose to drink or not drink, that is your choice and it is your life. I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing or who you should or should not be spending your time with. I just wanted to make it apparent that everyone you surround yourself with is impacting your goals, whether you realize it or not. And it's not a negative thing. I think we can definitely switch this into a positive thing. Like maybe your best friends aren't active and you're still trying to strive towards this fitness goal. Maybe instead of saying, oh, should we go out for breakfast? Maybe suggest a coffee and a walk instead. That way you still get your coffee. Let's get that in always. You still get your catch up and you still get to see your mates and you're getting your steps in. You're putting a more positive spin on it, getting some fresh air at the same time instead of sitting down and eating a full English or like 10 cakes. I don't know what you end up doing with your best mates at weekends. Or instead of going out on the lash every weekend, maybe suggest like a nice hiking weekend or going for a swim in the sea or like a yoga retreat or anything. It doesn't have to be expensive. All of these things can be free. And it's just, actually, it's probably cheaper to go for a hiking weekend instead of going out on the lash because that's all free. You literally park up. Do you have to pay for parking? Is that a fiver? I don't know. Go for a nice walk, come back, and then maybe you do grab a coffee or a pint at the end of it as like a bit of a celebration that, oh, we did a good thing today. And again, that's your choice. Absolutely your choice. But again, going back to like what we choose to consume, we have a lot, like there is an abundance of food options and choices for us every single day. majority now are ultra processed foods, which we eat a lot more of because we can eat a lot more of them. You will find that you'll be able to eat a lot more Cheerios than you will normal porridge because the porridge has a lot more fiber in it. Even though Cheerios, I don't know why I said Cheerios, probably because it was on a podcast I was just listening to. They said Cheerios. Choosing the Cheerios or other kids' cereal, you will be able to eat a lot more of it because it's higher in sugar. And yes, they've got loads of additives on the front and like added vitamins and everything like that. But choosing the whole food over the boxed cereal is healthier because the whole food doesn't have to tell you that it's healthy. That's the way I like to frame it. If you have to look at a box to read if it's healthy or not, chances are it's not, or it's at least processed or ultra processed. Broccoli does not have to sell itself. It's literally a broccoli. We know that it's healthy. We're not like nuts, seeds, broccolis, fruits, vegetables, meats. None of those things have big branding over the front of it saying healthy, high in protein, eat me. Like, we know we need to eat those. It's all the other branded things that are there to make money, not necessarily to fuel us and nourish our bodies. They're the things that we end up eating more of because they're catching our eye on the shelves. We crave it more because we can eat more of it because there's additives in it and it's high in sugar, spikes our glucose, all of those things. We end up eating more of it because it's surrounding us. And it is surrounding us. It is everywhere. And I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. So if you do want to get a grasp of it, when you walk around the shop, if you have to look at it to see if it's healthy or not, chances are it's not. Choose whole foods 80% of the time. 20% of the time, yeah, have the blueberry muffin. Yes, have that slice of cake, have the slice of pizza, have the cocktail, have the glass of wine. Yes, like 20% of the time, that's absolutely fine. But 80% of your diet should come from whole foods. And I don't like to use the word should because that makes me feel like I'm telling you to do it. But if you want to start to live and lead a healthier lifestyle and bring friends and family along that lifestyle with you, you've got to show how it's done because showing is so much more effective than telling people what to do. That's, again, linking back to what I said at the beginning about me showing my sweaty selfies. I am showing you that I'm doing it. I'm just showing you. That's how I plan to inspire people, by showing you how it's done, not just telling you, because not people don't like to be told. I'm going to show you, prove that it works, and then people buy into it. Not necessarily buy into it, but they might feel like, oh, actually, yeah, let's do it. People are more likely to pick up on it, or at least start to pick up on smaller, little healthy habits that are going to really build and compound over time and make such huge difference. Like, just like going for an evening walk. I love putting that on my story saying evening walkies because it resonates with so many people that it's like, oh, actually, yeah, oh, yeah, let's go out for a walk. Let's go out for a walk. Or like go meet a friend for a coffee, grab a coffee, go for a walk. Little things like that. And it's really nice if you can take other people on that journey with you and surround yourself by people who want to be on that journey with you as well and who understand and support your goals, your vision, why you want to be healthier and why you're going for that evening walk even though it's raining. Like, find people like that or somehow turn them into people like that because it is possible. But yeah, exactly, just choosing what you consume, whether that's people or food or social media. Like, Instagram can be such a negative place if you choose it to be. It can be extremely positive if you realize that people are only sharing their highlights. So if you follow loads of rich people who are living their best life, traveling the world with their Prada handbags and jet skis, chances are you're going to feel like crap. Like, you are going to, like, no one wants to see that other people are having that much fun. Like, yes, it's nice to look at, and they're really usually very pretty pictures of very pretty people with very pretty bags, but no one actually likes to see that. It's sort of a little bit of envy that goes on. It's like, oh, I wish I had that. But you've got to remember that they're only sharing their highlights. And the fact that social media now gives us access to all of these people, I think makes it worse. Because obviously 20, 30 years ago, people were probably quite content with their life because they didn't know how the other half lived. They don't see the jet skis, the Prada bags, all of that other amazing thing, like that sort of lifestyle was never shown unless you're a celebrity on maybe television or the radio when people talked about it, or in magazines. That's the only way people were sort of exposed to it. Whereas now we have millions and millions of accounts seeing other people's lives every single day, and then comparing it. We're comparing people's highlights to our everyday. And that's when it can be really, really negative and have a really negative side effect on your mental health, your physical health, your goals. Like, sometimes it's like, oh, I might as well give up because I'll never look like that. But again, you're comparing your day 1 to their day 500. Or maybe you're not even at day 1. Maybe you're on day 500, comparing it to someone who's day 2000. Like, oh wait, how old would that make them? I don't know. I'm not going to work that out now. But Instagram and social media can be used as like extremely, extremely positive places. If you follow the right people, people that inspire you, people that push you out of your comfort zone, friends that you want to go and travel with or hike with and post about it and show that you're doing great things. Research is also really good. It sounds really weird, but like, those people have said to me on like since I've been here, like, oh yeah, just look for TikTok best coffee places, and I'm like, what is that thing? Yeah, people use it as like, instead of Google now, like, most recommended coffee place in Sydney, or like, people will Google that and TikToks come up, which I found bizarre. That probably makes me sound so old, but I'm going to start using that and see how it works instead of just using Google. But we'll soon find out. I don't know if I'm going to like that or not. We'll see. But if you find that following someone gives you negative triggers, negative feelings, unfollow them. Or just mute them for a bit. Just mute them for a bit and see if your mood picks up, or your diet improves, or your lifestyle improves if you mute those people. And then start following more people that do inspire you to do a bit more, or just move your body more, or even just listen to this podcast. Are you out for a walk? That's what the main point of this podcast was. I wanted to get people out running. Like, I love running and listening to podcasts. So I did ideally want to start this podcast as a running podcast and run with you, but the mic kept dropping in and out. Maybe I should try it again in Sydney. I'd love to do that because I'd love to take you on runs with me. Please let me know if that is something you would be interested in. And I will look into doing that in the very near future. But that's pretty much all I have really today. And I know it's very much, I went off on a few different tangents there, but it is very much what you surround yourself with. What people are you surrounding yourself with? What food are you surrounding yourself with? The environment, the social media. You get to choose. So just choose wisely. No, no pressure. But you can choose, eliminate the ones that don't make you feel good, choose more of the ones that do make you feel good. And it will compound over time, and you will start to feel a lot better, a lot happier. And I'm really rambling on now, so I'm going to love you and leave you there, I think, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you did enjoy this podcast, please just forward it to one other person that would really enjoy listening to this. And please like, subscribe, review. It helps the podcast a lot, and I would love to get some really cool guests on soon. So I'm going to love you and leave you there, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week.